Okay, we got to finish up. So we did. We said we were going to do 3 undefined terms. So let's just write this down again. This first part is just a quick review. 3 undefined terms. If you remember, I don't know why you're talking because I'm up here talking. Okay, you're going to leave pretty soon. Okay, because it seems like I have to say something to you a lot. So maybe you're not used to that from where you were before. Okay, but you're going to have to start getting used to that because you won't be here. I'll say that. It's a lot easier for me instead of dealing with it, writing you up. Mr. Sarak just said send them out, so that's what I'll start doing. So just a warning, okay? So let's just learn how to behave in here. So here we go, 3 undefined terms. The first one, somebody tell me what the first undefined term was. Should be in your notes, just say it. Point. All right, what was the second one? Line. And then we didn't really get into the third one, but did I mention the third one? Okay, it's plane. So those are the 3 undefined terms. I don't know if you remember. I even told you to put it in your notes so you could remember. I believe the first question on the first quiz that we're going to take in here is name the 3 undefined terms. I'm telling you right now. Okay, I think it's the first question. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. It's the first question is name the 3 undefined terms. And all you do is write down what? Point, line, plane. That's it. Okay, pretty simple. So let's review just quickly. It's been a couple days since we've been in here, since we had the convocation thing yesterday. So a point is a location, and we use a capital letter. Now, I use the letter P, but you don't have to. You can use any letter. It doesn't make any difference. All right? So we use a capital letter to represent a point. So when we have a line, we could write a line a couple different ways. We put arrows at the end of the line. Sometimes I get lazy. I don't put the arrows. But you really should put the arrows at the end of the line. That means it keeps on going forever and ever. So a line is made up of a bunch of points. So let's label a couple of these points. Let's call that point A. Let's call that point B. Now, you could put that A on top. You could put the B on top. It doesn't make any difference. I think in the last class, I actually put the letters on top, but it doesn't make any difference as long as it's basically right next to that point. That's point A. That's point B. Now, we can name this line just by those 2 points. And we name the line by putting the 2 points and putting a little line over top of it. Okay? Very simple. It's not the only way to name. We don't have to go like left to right or alphabetical order. We could name this another way. How else could we name this? BA. Line BA, right. Line BA. So I could name it like that. So either one of those. So if I said name this line, and I put that picture there and I put an A and a B. I said name the line. You would put AB and then a line with arrows on the end of it, just like this. Or you could put BA. It doesn't make any difference. One is not any better than the other. It's exactly the same. Good? Right? Another way you could name a line. Do you remember this? Or look in your notes. What's another way I can name a line? With a what? Evan? Okay, with a lowercase letter. Right? And let's just call this... Okay, that's a definite. Well, it's not a definition because they're undefined, but that's a description of a line. It doesn't have any length or width. What in the world? Oh, it's my. I think it'll last a little longer. We'll see. Hopefully, it'll last the whole time. It's this tablet that I'm using to write on. It says the battery's low, so I got to charge it up. But anyway, I could not put any points on here. That lowercase L right there just means that we're going to call this line L. Okay, there's no points. Right? There's no points on here. That L is not a point. It's just the name of the line. It's just another easy way. And you're going to see later on, probably the last thing we do today, you're going to see a picture that I put on here with several lines, and we name them with a lowercase letter. Right? And you're probably thinking, well, this is dumb. This is stupid. We'll never do this again. No. This is one of the things that we're going to be doing throughout the whole year. So we're starting off now, and then we're going to be saying these kind of things throughout the whole entire year. Okay? We're going to be marking lines. We're going to use letters, points. We're going to use the lowercase letter. We'll be doing that all year long, okay? So that's why they start with this, because it's that important, okay? It's not, this is not just blow-off time. So that's line L. So I could name lines those 2 different ways. I could name a point. What if I stick another point in here? Let's call it C. It's supposed to be upper. Let's make it bigger. Yeah, so it's an uppercase or it's a capital C. Now I could name this line a bunch of different ways. I could still call it line AB. Even though I have 3 points on there, I don't use all 3 points. How many points do I use to describe a line? just 2, and that's it. No less, no more. Okay, only 2. So I got 3 points in there. It doesn't matter which points that I use as long as I just use 2 of them. All right, so I could call it AB or BA, but now I got other options. What else could I call it? Line what? Line CA and AC. Right, I could call it line CB and BC. So really I got 6 different ways that I can name that one line right there, isn't there? All right, so you don't have to write all 6. If I said name that line, you could choose from any of those 6 possibilities and you could name the line that. Make sense? This lowercase letter, you could put it like to the right of the arrow, or you could put it to the left of the arrow. You wouldn't put it like inside there. You would put it somewhere near one of those arrows. All right, so that's how we usually do that. All right, that was all old stuff. Now we're going to do new stuff, and that is a plane. So let me draw what kind of looks like a plane. I'm going to slant it a little bit. Let's go like 30 degrees. So that's kind of what, that's kind of what a plane usually looks like in a geometry book. But a plane is basically just a flat surface. All right, it's a flat surface that keeps going forever and ever and ever. So if you look in this room, there's a lot of things that represent a plane. For instance, the ceiling. The ceiling's a flat surface, okay? I mean, there's a little bit, some ridges and stuff like that, but generally it's a flat surface. This wall is basically a flat surface. The floor, the carpet that's over top of it, it's basically a flat surface. So we would call those planes. But all these things, like this book right here, this book is a flat surface, but it doesn't, this book has edges and it stops, okay? A plane doesn't stop. It keeps on going forever and ever. So this book, the cover of the book just represents where a plane is. The plane is actually, it's invisible, right? It's through here, it's through there, it's through here, and it keeps on going forever and ever and ever, all right? Does that make sense? So those are planes. If you had a, let me see, I have a box somewhere. I got a box. It's got stuff in it. All right, look at this box. This box, pretend there's a lid on it, okay? This box has a bunch of planes. So this is a flat surface. This represents a plane. But again, a plane doesn't stop. It keeps on going forever and ever. So this plane, if it keeps on going up and it keeps on going down this way, that represents a plane. There's another plane right here. So there's a plane this way, there's a plane this way, there's a plane this way, here, here, and on top like that. There's all these different planes. Those sides of this box just represent the plane. They're not a plane itself, but we can't just draw that thing, keep going forever and ever and ever. All right. So what it does, it just represents where a plane is. So enough of that. So again, it's not really a definition. It's just a description of what a plane is. So what we need to do is we need to name the plane. All right. Now, like a line has that little line symbol over top of it. That's the symbol we use for line. We don't have to write the word line. Actually, to tell you the truth, on this one you would. See right here, there's no points. So we would actually, if I was to name this, if I was to write it down, we would actually use the word line and then put line L or line M or line A or whatever letter you give it. Right here, you don't have to use the word line because you already got the line over top of it. Does it make sense? Yeah, it's pretty easy. So you'd put the line here. A plane is kind of the same thing where we actually use the word plane. There's no symbol, okay? There's no symbol. We're going to be doing a lot of symbols for a lot of things later on, but a plane doesn't have a symbol. So you could name it with a lowercase letter. That lowercase letter would usually be in one of the corners. It's usually inside of that little box right there. So it's in one of the corners. It doesn't have to be the top left. I just happen to put it in the top left. It could be over here, here, or here. All right, so it doesn't matter. That's a lowercase k. So I could call it just plain k. Everybody see that? So that's how I could name it. I got to write out the word, and then I put the lowercase letter there. All right, so let's get rid of that. And let's do it another way. Now that K is not a point, all right? It's just a letter that we name that plane. So what if we have some letters in here? We'll call this A, B, and C again. Just make it easy. So there's points A, B, and C. So another way you could name a plane is by 3 points. How do we name a line when you have points on there? How many points do we use when we name a line? 2 points, okay? But a plane we use what? 3. 3 points to name a plane. So here it is, plane A, B, C. So that's how we would name that particular plane right there. Exactly right. Yep, it's different. Now, I could have 4, 5, or 6 points in here, but how many points would you use to name the plane? Just 3 of them. Right, okay? Does that make sense? So let's put a few more in here. Let's put a D and an E and an F right there, okay? If I had all those points in there and I said, name this plane, man, you got all kinds of options, don't you? You could just pick 3 points. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the order that you put them in, right? You can't repeat any. You can't go A, B. You can't do that. But as long as you pick 3 points, you can name this, whatever you want, as long as you're using 3 of the points that are in there. We got it? Doesn't matter the order. That's how you name the plane. And again, this stuff really does... I lost my notes. Hold on, give me a second. All right. I put my notes back in my notebook. I don't know why. I was just going on memory on those. All right. That's enough of the undefined terms. So now, this is what we're really doing today. When's this class over? 10:30? 25? Let me go. Different answers. It is 10:30. I was right. How about that? All right, here we go. We're not going to take the whole time, but I want to get to a certain point here, okay? We're almost done. We only got 2 definitions to do, and then we'll stop, all right? So what we've done so far are undefined terms. They don't have definitions. So now is our first definition. All right, so we got 2 definitions that we're going to do. Yes. Remember, they don't have definitions. They're undefined terms. All right. We described it. We described what a plane was, but we don't really have definitions. I didn't write anything down, though. It's just a flat surface made up of a bunch of points extending forever. All right, so if you want to write that down, that's fine. So here's the first one, the first real definition. It's called collinear. Collinear points. And we will write this definition down. So they are points that lie on the same line. I'm reading it. Just listen to me. I'm saying, if you can't read my writing, I understand, because I don't write that well. But I am reading it to you. Collinear points are points that lie on the same line. On the same line. Okay? Collinear. C-O-L-L-I-N-E-A-R. So if you look in here, you see the word line right there, don't you? Yeah. The word co means with, okay? So they're points that lie within the same line. That's kind of where they get that word from, right? So the points that lie on the same line. Pretty simple. It's not that hard. I'll just show you a quick little example of collinear. Let's jazz this up a little bit, put a little color in here. So if I had that, and that. Let's go X, Y, and Z. We'll be wild and crazy instead of doing the A, B, and C all the time. All right, so if I have points X, Y, and Z. Now, what do you know about those points? They all do what? Where are they sitting on? What are they sitting on? They're sitting on that line, aren't they? So they're on that line. They lie on the line, right? Like they lay down on it. They lie on the line. So they are collinear, correct. So X, Y, and Z are collinear points, okay? What if I introduce another point? We'll call it Q. It'll be really crazy. That's right. All 4 of these are not collinear, are they? Okay. What if I said, what about Y, Q, and Z? Are they collinear? No, they're not. Because, again, there's no way I can get one line and get all 3 of those points lying on that same line. Would you agree? Because they don't line up. Now, what if I had 2 points? Any 2 points are always going to be collinear. So I had a point here, a point here. I can always lie. They could always lie on one particular line, couldn't they? So let's take a look at Q and Y. Could I say that Q and Y are collinear? Now I didn't draw the line, but I could though, couldn't I? I could draw a line that connects Q and Y. So would they be collinear? Sure, because they'd be on the same line. Okay? Everybody see that? But if I say Q, Y, and Z, is there any way I can get Q, Y, and Z to lie on just one particular line? No, I can't do it. Okay, so that's collinear. Everybody got it? Yeah, it's pretty easy. All right, let's do another definition, and then we'll do a big example, and then we'll be finished. So 2 is concurrent. C-O-N. Whoops. Hate when that happens. I got this button on this pen that if I push the button on here, I don't know why they put that button on there. If I push the button, it goes crazy. So concurrent. So concurrent lines this time, not points, but lines. All right. Concurrent lines. C-O-N-C-U-R-R-E-N-T. I spelled it once already for you. They're lines whose intersection. So they are lines whose intersection. What does that mean, intersection? Yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. They cross each other. Right? 2 roads, right? Cross each other. That's in an intersection. Everybody knows that word. Right? So intersection in a single point. Or is a single point. Is a single point. Single point. What in the world does that mean? Well, we just said it. Lines that intersect do what to each other? Yeah, but just in your own words. 2 lines that do what to each other? Just intersect each other, okay? 2 lines that intersect each other are concurrent lines, all right? Intersect is the geometry word. We're not going to really say cross each other, but I just said that earlier just so that you knew what we were talking about, okay? If they cross each other, they intersect. So intersection is our geometry word, or intersect, all right? They intersect, they touch each other, they cross each other, but they intersect each other, and they intersect at a single point. All right, so 2 lines that intersect each other are called concurrent lines. Everybody got that? Yeah, pretty easy. They're on the same plane. Very good. Yep, you're exactly right. They are on the same plane. And you're right, there are lines that, well, let's talk about something else. We will get to that, John. That's a good point. We'll get to that probably on Monday. All right, but I want to throw this one thing out to you. Again, this thing's technically going to be taught on Monday, but I'm going to do it right now. It's up to you. Look at these 2 lines right here. And by the way, I keep calling these lines, but I was too lazy to put all the arrows on the end of them. But they're supposed to have arrows so that you understand. All right, so these 2 lines right here, are they concurrent lines? Why not? They don't intersect each other. And they never will intersect each other. Now, again, this is for Monday, but what's that word? You probably heard this before. What's the word that we're going to use if 2 lines never intersect each other? Parallel. Exactly. Okay, they're parallel lines. So we got parallel lines, and people use that in everyday language all the time, right? They say that thing's parallel to this. Even in football, right? They're like, run parallel to line of scrimmage, if a guy's like taking off or something like that. You ever hear that? You ever hear that word? Okay, well now they can use it because now you know what it means, okay? So, like 2 receivers, right? You're just doing a... what's that route when you just go straight? They call it a post route. Yeah. Do you call it a post route? Just a go? All right, so if 2 receivers are just running completely straight down the field, they're parallel to each other, okay? So that's what parallel is. All right, let me do an example with the concurrent stuff, and then we'll be done. Actually, I could have used those 2 lines, but that's okay. Now, again, these are lines, but I'm just, again, too lazy to put the arrows on them. Let's not do it let's do this a little steeper, about like that. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. This is in the book. This is all in the book. Okay, so I'm not just making this stuff up. It's right from the book. I'm going to let's color code these. I'm going to name the lines first. So that's line K. It's a lowercase k. This is a lowercase l, so that one, that slanted one right there is line L. This is line M, and this is line N. That's an N. I know it's kind of weird looking, but that's an N. All right, now we're going to put some points in here. Guys, if you could stop tapping, I'd really appreciate that. If I put a R right here, that's just a capital letter. So now I did put a dot here, but if you don't put the dot there, that means where that dot was, that means that's point R. See where they intersect each other? So I didn't actually put a dot there to show the point, but the point where they intersect each other is point R. All right, I'm going to do that a few other times, but I'm going to use different letters. So that's point T. This one right here is point S. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So where the R means it's that point. It's that point right there. But most of the time, they won't put an actual dot there. They won't put a point there. But that means this intersection is point R, this intersection is point T, this intersection is point S, right? But right here, in between here, there's no intersection, so I'm actually going to put a dot, and I'm going to call it V, all right? So here's the question. This is a question on the example. This is a question that could be on a quiz or a test, something similar to it anyway. I don't know if this is exactly on the test. I just can't remember. It's been a year ago since I've given it, so I don't remember. So the first question says, name 3 collinear points. If you want to write that down, you can. I'm not going to write it down just because of space. Name 3 collinear points. So 3 points that are collinear. So look back on your definition that you wrote down for collinear, see what collinear means, and write down 3 collinear points. Write it down in your notes, okay, without saying it out. I'll tell you if you're right in a second. All right, so write down 3 collinear points. Put it in your notes. 3 collinear points. What does collinear mean? Points that do what? Lie on the same line, not intersect. Collinear points are points that lie on the same line. So where do I have 3 points that all lie on the same line? Which points are they? T, V, and S. That's right. Okay, and it doesn't matter what order you go. All right, T and V and S all lie on that line L, don't they? All right, so that's the answer to my first question. 3 collinear points would be T, V, and S. Pretty easy so far, isn't it? Sure. Number 2, again, I'm not going to write down the question. You can write it if you want. Name 3 non-collinear points. What does it mean to be non-collinear? Dear? Yeah, not on the same line. So give me some points. Give me 3 points that don't lie on the same. There's no point A or B up here. Yeah. They're not points. M, N, and L. Can you get the door? M, N, and L are not points. These are names of lines. What are the points? What color are the points? What color are the points? The yellow ones. Okay. V, S, and T? No. V, S, and T are collinear. I'm asking for non-collinear. Next period.
If you could take a look down here too.
Okay, yeah. Thanks. So T, V, and S are not non-collinear. They are collinear. Right, Jerry?
R.
R what? Just R?
Yeah.
I want 3 points. RVS. RVS, that's good. R, V, and S. They're 3 points, and they don't all lie on the same line, do they? So that means they are what? Non-collinear. They're non-collinear. If they don't lie on the same line, R, V, and S, they're non-collinear. Make sense? Okay, so that's one of my answers. There's actually more than just one answer for this. Are there 3 other points that are not on the same line? R, V, and T. Okay? R, V, and T are not on the same line either, are they? So I could write that down. I don't have to write them all. I'm just showing you the different options. Is there anything else? I think there's one more.
Yeah.
Well, we did R, S, and V right here, just a different order. What is it? R, T, and S. Yep, R, T, and S. That's another one. R, T, and S. All right? Those are all 3 non-collinear. What does it mean to be non-collinear? It means they don't, what? Lie on the same line. Okay? What do you think? Does that make any sense? So we got collinear, we got non-collinear. One more question. Number 3. And we'll be finished. The question says, name 3 concurrent lines. Look in your definition if you need to. 3 concurrent lines. Jai, you had your hand up first. 3 concurrent lines. Let's use the blue now, okay? Because they're the names of the lines.
M and K.
Okay. 3. I need 3.
M, K, and L.
M, K, and L. M, K, and L. Where do they all meet up? Where do they all intersection? Or where do they all intersect, I should say?
About like the top part.
Like right here? Does K intersect there?
No.
No.
Oh.
Does L intersect here?
It's N, L, and K.
N, L, and K. Good. Or K, L, and N. All right, do you see that? So here's the spot right there where they all 3 intersect. Are there any other places? There's only 2 other places where there's intersections, right? Right here and here. But only 2 lines intersect here. Only 2 lines intersect here. Where's the only place where 3 lines intersect? Down here at T. And what are those lines? It's line K, and then what? Line L, and then line N. That's right. So my answer would be, since they're lines, I got to write the word line in front of it, right? Why didn't I write anything here? Because with points, you don't have to write the word point. You just put a capital letter, and everybody knows that that's a point, okay? But a line, you got to write what? Line K, and then line, what's the other one? L, right? And then what's the third one? N. Line N. All right? And that's the answer. So what are they again? They're 3 what? What kind of lines are they? Concurrent. Meaning they do what? They all intersect where? At a single point. Okay? At one point. So these are definitions that you need to know. Now, you don't have to memorize them. I will not ever do this. Everybody listen to me? We're almost done. Have a seat. I will never say, what is the definition of this word on a quiz or a test? All right? Not going to do that. Okay? I might ask you questions about a definition like this. Name the 3 concurrent lines. Okay? Or name 3 collinear points. So that means you still need to know what it means, but you're not going to have to sit down and memorize a whole bunch of definitions and write out what the definition is. Okay? I know some geometry teachers that do that kind of stuff. And I just don't think that's worthwhile. I want you to know what the definition is, but know how to use it. That's what I care about. I just want you to be able to see the word, say, okay, I know what that means. Let's put it into action and let's use it. Does that make sense? Okay. So you should be thanking me for that, because there's a lot of geometry teachers where half their tests or their quizzes are define this, define this, define this. All right, I'm not doing that in here. But I will ask questions just like this right here, where you got to know what that word means. You have to know what concurrent lines mean. You got to know what, what's the other one? I forget off the top of my head. Collinear means. Okay, you got to know what non-collinear means. You got to know those things, but I want you to put it into action when you have stuff like this. We good? Now look, we got a lot to learn in here. This is a lot different than your regular, ordinary math class. This is different than regular arithmetic. It's different than pre-algebra. It's different than algebra. This is different. Doesn't mean it's harder. It's just different. You're going to use, I know it sounds like I'm just spouting this off, but this is absolutely true. You absolutely use different parts of your brain to do geometry than you do to do like algebra or arithmetic and things like that, right? For some people, that's not a good thing because they're not used to using that part of their brain. Some people use that part of their brain very well, and they do very well in here. We have to practice using that part of our brain. So I would study this stuff every night, even though we don't have a quiz tomorrow, we don't have a quiz Monday, we don't have a quiz whenever. I would go over this and just read over it every once in a while. Just read over it. Now I could say that's on blue in the face, and I know only maybe 1 or 2 of you are going to be doing it. But it's my job, it's my responsibility to tell you that. You've got to keep a good note-taking system. That means in a spiral notebook, put the section at the top. Whatever section we're working on, put that at the top. So if you need to flip back and look at something, you know exactly where to go. Take good notes. Don't sit there in class and be lazy and not write anything. Look, you got nothing else to do. I'm not letting you do anything else, all right? It's best that you listen to me, you hear me, and you actually do things. Okay? People all the time say, well, I'm a visual learner, I'm an auditory learner, I'm a this learner, whatever. I'm trying to get you to do them all because doing all the things helps you learn. You watch, you listen, and you do. Okay? That's what it's going to take to learn. All right? So doing in here is taking notes, writing stuff down. It keeps you awake, gives you something to do. You got to listen, you got to watch. Use the videos that I put up on YouTube. Okay, use the videos. You don't have to watch the whole entire thing, but maybe go to one section. You're like, man, I keep forgetting what concurrent lines mean. Well, just scroll through the video until you get to the part about concurrent lines and just watch that little bit. Okay, every time you do that, it's going to sink in your brain even further. It's going to stay there. All right, that's what you want. Everybody got that? All right, so take this class seriously. So far, it's not been hard. It's just been definitions and stuff. Later on, we will be doing some algebra. We'll be using this, but I'll be putting like angles in here. I'll put angle here and angle here. I'll give you this one. You got to figure out what that angle is equal to. So you have to do some math. You got to do some addition. You got to do some subtraction. You got to know the relationship between those angles and stuff like that. It's definitely going to get harder than what it is right now. But stay with us now. It all builds. It builds, okay? And we've got to make sure that you stay on track now. Know these definitions. Know these words because they're going to come back later on, all right? You're going to see lines. You're going to see points. You're going to see planes. You're going to see them from now to the end of the book. So it's important that you get a good foundation in here now. And then when we get to the other stuff, you're like, yeah, I remember that stuff. We talked about that all the time back then, all right? And you're going to see it again. Everybody good? All right. Just stay in your seats. Do not get up and wander around. I'll give you the last 2 to 3 minutes just to sit and talk. But do not get up. Do not walk around. Just stay in your seats and you can talk. Okay? If you want to put your head down, that's fine.